Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another week of the Modelo Blue White Players Show. Don't look now, but we are getting towards the end of this football season.
New setup.
To move quick. New setup. This is how you know we're getting late in the year because the sun goes down. And let's just keep it all the way 100. It's hard to keep me lit up without adequate sunshine. So we moved to this corner with a little bit of direct light. The Nittany Lions are in a great position, Landon, after a massive win against Purdue. Where did you two watch from?
Yeah, I watched it actually from the Letterman's Lounge. We were up in there. I was quarterback club.
Okay.
Had the now called used to be State College Quarterback Club. Now Penn State Quarterback Club held a watch party. So got to hang out with a lot of my favorites. Some that are here tonight even, and yeah, it was a good time. I enjoyed it, man. So it was fun. It was a beat down. Would you say, Goon? Where were you on your couch?
No, sir. No.
Oh.
Carrie's nieces were in town, so we were.
There we go.
They were bowling, man.
Oh, bowling.
We were at the what was it? Northland Bowl.
There
Fantastic deal. $65, 2 hours for people to bowl.
I've done it many
Oh,
times.
that's good. That was our go-to.
All the kids were loving life. I'm watching the game, and there wasn't much of a game, to be honest with you. But yeah, perfect.
It was a game. Yeah, it was a game you could go bowling during. That was a good description of it.
Yeah.
And then you could watch Pitt in the background losing, and you're like, yes.
Well, my favorite part, I don't know if you watched any of the Pitt game, but Pat Narduzzi once again failed clock management.
Yeah.
He thought it was a first down. You know, they were down by 4. They're rolling. He wastes about 10 seconds of not calling a timeout, and then calls a timeout. 10 seconds drip off, and then
decides to yell at the referees like it's his fault.
Like it's his fault.
Like that's he's the ultimate. Like, you should have told me. Like, no, coach, that's your job.
They pay you the big bucks.
It's exciting. I get a sick enjoyment out of watching Pitt lose, though. I'll tell you what.
Hey, Landon, can I ask you, how long do you think Pat Narduzzi has left?
Oh gosh, not long. It's got to be. The seat's got to be hot. I mean, at this point, he keeps losing.
Now, this is out of respect to our guest tonight. His father was a Pit player, so you got to watch your mouth.
Oh, that's true.
He's a Pit guy at his core.
I'm going to tell you, Pitt ain't going to fire Pat Narduzzi.
You don't think so?
They need to.
Why?
Well, if you just want to continue to be consistently bad.
People dressing as empty seats. They're happy with him. Like, I don't understand. It's the seat's hot, but I don't think they're gonna get rid of him. I mean, what are they gonna do? They're gonna pay him off.
Yeah,
and then go out and get somebody. They're not gonna buy anybody out.
Why? My question is, why did he continue to get extended? He hasn't done any. I mean, I guess he won the ACC with Kenny Pickett in what was that 2020?
Yep.
But outside of that, I mean, it's been pretty bleak. I'll never forget. I was at my school. They had camps, in the summertime because Penn State has one, West Virginia. And I remember we went to Pitt one year, and it was like my junior year. And Pat Narduzzi, I didn't know who he was, came up to me and starts talking to me.
Yep.
And I just think there's always like those recruiting interns that like talk to you. I swear to God, I did not know it was the head coach. I didn't even think it was really a coach. I thought he was like one of the quality control people. And then someone was like, "Oh, you were talking to Narduzzi." I was like, "Oh, was I?"
That's a small thing, but it's important. Like when Coach Franklin walks up to you and you're a high school recruit, there's never a question about the importance of Coach Franklin and what he may be doing. You know that's the head football coach you're talking to.
An aura.
But was he the only head coach there?
Pat Narduzzi, yeah.
I can understand when Urban Meyer mistook Aeneas and didn't understand who he was.
Yeah, he had no clue. That
was there was 150 kids there, but if there's only one head coach of the team there and you don't know who it was,
no, I didn't. I didn't know, and that was my Urban Meyer experience was probably equally as bad as yours.
What was your Urban Meyer experience?
Just not good. Went into his office and it wasn't good. He kind of quizzed me the entire time he talked to me, and then like didn't offer me, and I was so angry you don't even understand. So I left that office fuming, and then ran into Emmitt Smith there too. So that was cool.
That is cool.
It was an interesting day.
I will say that makes me smile that you also had an unpleasant experience in Coach Saban's office. I thought that was just me. I went up there the last time I went, and again, you remember he didn't remember my name, but before that,
Urban.
Coach Urban Meyer didn't remember my name, and somehow. I did say Saban. Sorry about that. Somehow, Coach Meyer had gotten word about my AP chemistry grade that year and spent 25 minutes in his office lecturing me about effort in the classroom when really I was just terrible at science. I had no business in AP Chem. And I didn't feel like that was his place to be talking to me about that anyway, as if he cares what an AP chemistry grade may look like.
I think that shows the type of guy he is. He doesn't want to actually like really.
All over.
Oh yeah,
that's got Mama Hawk written all over. She's in there like, get on him
Ask about his
Chemistry.
grade right
Ask
now.
him about his
Don't offer
grades.
him a scholarship. That is a Mama Hawk move if you're watching. Let's get back to Penn State football. We have a very special tight end guest in the building today. We'll bring him on soon. Have we announced it yet? Am I allowed to say it's Khalil Dinkins in the house? We're excited about it. But let's we'll talk more Penn State football. I want to know. I mean, obviously, we're heading into the end of this season. There's nobody on paper that should be able to knock the Nittany Lions off, but I hate to be this guy. I was on the 2019 team that went up to Minnesota and did not come out victorious. So, Landon, do you see this as a sleeper game here? And what are you finding so funny, if I may ask?
Yeah, no, it's just a trap game, classic trap game. I'm laughing because I have one of my favorite stories ever was that Minnesota game. You remember the offensive PI?
Yes.
Where we got down to the 1 yard line and if we scored a touchdown, we were going to win.
Yep.
Throw it down to the 1, gets tackled. It gets called all the way back to like the 20-yard line. And it was kind of a BS PI call. It was offensive PI.
Yep.
So later that fall, actually that winter, I'm at Good Counsel, my high school. There's AAU basketball tournaments. And so I'm in there with some Penn State gear on. I'm working out, and I'm just walking around. And a ref comes out to get some water, and he goes, "Hey, do you go to Penn State?" And I'm like, "No, I think I'm going to. I haven't committed yet, but I'm like, I'm going to." He's like, "Did you watch that Minnesota game this year?" And I'm thinking he's just going to like rag like a Minnesota fan. He's like, "Yo, you remember that offensive pass interference?" He said, "I was the one that threw the flag." And he was bragging. And he goes, "Hey, you tell James Franklin it was a good call." And he said, "I'm proud of it." And then he goes on like a 1 minute rant of like he wants me to like tell James. He's like, "Yeah, give him a call." Like, and he was like bragging. Like he clearly
That's crazy.
Was spiteful. I still have his phone number in my phone. Won't put my guy out there, but yeah. So that's my story about Minnesota.
He bragged about that.
He was bragging about the offensive pass interference.
My birthday.
Because
they had luck on my birthdays.
Where were we at with that Minnesota year in 2019? I mean, we were in a pretty we had
we were in
Michigan
a great spot
already.
Yeah, beat the brakes off Michigan in the whiteout.
We just lost to Ohio State.
But Ohio State that year, if you remember, was like Justin Fields, J.K. Dobbins. Like everybody had respect for that Ohio State roster. So nobody was looking at us like, oh, that's not a legit Penn State team. We were in a good position. If we would have won the Minnesota game, you could probably argue that we would have made it into the playoffs that season. It was a sad day. I didn't make the trip. I was actually sick. I had made the trip to my grandmother's house in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. And she has, I mean, it's ironic because she has 2 sons that played in the NFL and 3 others that play Division I, and she doesn't understand a thing about football. Like, doesn't know what's going on. So we're sitting there. Penn State's about to blow the game, the Minnesota game. We're not supposed to lose. I'm sick, trying not to throw up, and she's like patting me on the head, trying to console me. Now, this time I'm a grown man and my team is losing. She doesn't even know what she's talking about. It was just a long afternoon. Yeah.
But we will let's get into where we are at right now. And you were just talking about the playoffs. And I think that's a conversation on a lot of people's minds. So where we sit right now, we handle Minnesota, we handle Maryland. I would say it's 98% chance we have a home playoff game. And we're probably looking at the number 6.
2% come from?
I mean, you know, who knows what happens, but
you think that, I mean, this is an honest question because I've been hearing people say that, like, oh, a 2-loss team might jump up. Like we'll see tomorrow night if they drop us down to like 7, which I can't think they can do. I really don't think they can do.
I don't think they will.
I mean, if they keep dropping us back because we don't have a strong victory, I get it. I understand it, but we're already to a point there where we haven't done anything to deserve to get dropped.
Yeah. And there are other teams of a similar caliber who don't have an impressive win either. It's not like Penn State is the only one that is struck by that.
Texas
is
who they beat? Their best win is Vanderbilt. So Vanderbilt or Illinois, pick your poison. Michigan. Those are both our best wins. Michigan has 5 losses. So,
I understand that.
So that's honestly, you can't even qualify. Yeah. But no, so I mean, so where we sit, what's interesting is so the first 4 teams get a bye. So those are the conference winners. So probably ACC, SEC, Big 10, Big 12. So no matter what.
It's funny seeing people's reactions to see who's in whose conferences now.
People don't even know.
I didn't realize that. I mean, until like 3 weeks ago, when they first started coming out, I was like, did he just say SMU's in the ACC? And then I was like, okay, well, I knew that they had Stanford and Cal, which was a weird one.
Yep.
But BYU in the Big 12, that's
weird.
a shocking one. I'm like, I get people with that all the last 3 days. I'm like, hey, what conference is BYU? And they're like, Mountain West. I'm like, dude, no,
it's a lot of getting
Big 12, dude.
Yeah,
it is. No, so I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, and I think it depends on our seeding too. So I mean, if we end up, we're probably not going to be 5 because 5 would be the loser of the Big Ten championship game or the loser of that. I mean, the loser of the SEC game, championship game, very well might have 3 losses.
Yeah.
So I think we're okay there. But I think if it's Oregon and Ohio State again, I think whoever loses gets the 5 seed.
Well, here you go. The loser of the SEC title game will have 3 losses.
Not if it's the 1-loss team right now, who is Texas. Nonetheless, a lot of SEC bias.
Possibly have a 3-loss SEC team in there.
Very, very well could. And then so I think what you're looking at is the 6 seed.
Which, like I've been saying on my radio show the last couple of weeks and the whole year, is we've switched identities with the SEC. We bought in 3 watered down teams in USC, UCLA, and Washington.
Yeah.
They picked up Oklahoma and Texas.
Yeah.
Who are perennially top 20 teams and stuff like that. So we picked up Oregon. We have 18 teams in our conference. There's 9 teams we don't play.
Yeah.
8 teams, excuse me. There's 8 teams in our conference that we don't play. So it's a lot to do with the scheduling, how the Big Ten's going to do the scheduling. I mean, can you imagine us, Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, and Penn State? 3 teams, we don't play each other. Like, that's pretty crazy. I mean, that's the downside to having an 18-team conference.
You know, we talked about our schedule next year. Schedule next year.
What's going on with the schedule next year? Landon?
Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana.
Okay.
We got all 3 of them.
Okay.
No Michigan. And then you also got Nebraska, Rutgers, and Iowa is kind of that.
And then the out of conference is pretty legit next year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. FAU.
Yeah, they're super tough.
I think we're playing Duquesne.
Oh,
Duquesne. No, sorry, Nevada.
Oh, we do have Nevada.
Nevada, Villanova.
Yep.
And what did I just say the first one? Florida Atlantic or Florida.
Yeah, Florida Atlantic.
FAU, FIU.
None of us remembered what the first one you said was for a second.
FIU,
That's the result of
FIU,
interior
FAU.
line play. Nobody could remember for a second. Real quick, we got to get to the break, but we talk about a home playoff game potentially.
Absolutely.
How much louder do you foresee Beaver Stadium being?
Well, when we come back, we want to talk about that because actually some stuff has been released on how they're doing the ticketing.
That's perfect.
Because that was our thing. People had no idea.
Yeah.
I don't think the NCAA and their college football playoffs had no idea.
I think we're gonna have a little bit less fans because it's all up to the college football playoffs. The Penn State ain't running the show.
The visiting team only gets $5,000
for only 5,000
and
tickets.
Then see, our thing is that we need to figure out what our students are going to do. That's 20,000 seats.
That's no doubt.
So that would be.
They're going to have we're going to need to know within like a season ticket holder. Like I got season ticket holders. I have until November 22nd to pay for them.
Oh, so the clock's ticking.
Yeah. So you got to get down. You know, before they even pick, they don't pick until December 8th.
Right.
So you have to apply for them. You'll get them as a season ticket holder. But if you have 10 tickets, you must buy all 10. You can't buy 5.
Right.
So it's like one of those things that's like all or nothing. And then when they're done with all that stuff, they're going to go back around because you figure out all these people like all of our signs in our stadium, Geisinger.
Yep.
All these different car dealerships, Pitt Health, Penn Health, UPMC stuff, all that will be blacked out. It's all going to be only college football playoff sponsors in our stadium.
Wow.
And one of the things that I heard is if say we play Alabama and they have an introduction where, they have their own game day entrance to the field. So it's going to be just like a bowl game where you have to give them time. And they're going to have an Alabama video on the video boards while their team's running onto the field type of thing. Wow. So you have to have it. You have to give it both sides and stuff like that. We are the home team. Mm-hmm. We're not getting the money for the tickets. All the tickets, Penn State's collecting it, but then the college football players gets all that ticket money. But
all of it,
and then it goes into everybody's got the whole pie.
Right.
But then there's the thing is the food, alcohol, and parking. I don't know who gets that.
Yeah,
because that's a nice little olive or a nice little cherry on top of a sundae for Penn State if they get that. I mean, just imagine if they charge $100 a car. That's talking like $10 million just in parking.
Honestly, this conversation is stressing me out. I feel like I need to financially prepare.
I will. No.
What are you going to financially prepare for?
The playoffs.
You got to worry about wearing clothes in a my tailgate.
Sometimes when you're right.
By the way, no Letterman's passes.
What?
We were advised of no Letterman's passes because it's a college.
See, I'm glad we had this conversation because I didn't know this either.
You got to buy a ticket now.
So legitimately, now I have to budget to get into the playoff game. This is a legitimate problem now.
We're going to have this conversation off air. No Letterman's.
Yeah, we're going to handle that.
Anyway,
Franklin, if you're watching, we will be talking here soon.
I will tell you, because I
Tough
checked
guy.
this morning, that's exam week. Leading up to, so the game would be on the 21st at home. That week leading up is exam week. I know because
his graduation is the 22nd. Well,
yeah.
I'm sorry, the 20th.
Congrats.
It was the 21st.
I don't even know when it is.
But then they pushed it back to Sunday. They said last year.
Why do you know so much about when he's graduating?
Because I wanted to know about my tailgate.
Okay,
Me and him are going to be having a student bookstore show, I think, on Sunday morning, and then I'm going to graduate a couple hours.
Oh, I love that. That's how it should be.
What?
We got to get to the break. We are way over. We have
I'm not
Khalil
doing that
Dinkins.
show. No way.
We've got Khalil Dinkins on the other end. Stay tuned to Modelo Blue White Player Show.
WFXS. Your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox State College.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
You're tuned in to the Modelo Blue and White Players Show with Keith Goon Conlon, Aeneas Hawkins, and Landon Tengwall. Broadcasting live from the 19th hole at the Penn State Golf Courses every Monday at 6 p.m. all season long. Special thanks to this season's sponsors of the Players Show: Modelo Especial Beer, Lusk & Associates, Sotheby's International Realty, Turner Construction, Austin and Pam Schanfelder, Chris and Lisa Heydrich, Marco Rivera, and Sherry Lane. Now back to more of the Modelo Blue and White Players Show.
Welcome back into the Modelo Blue White Players Show here at the Penn State Golf Course. We are now joined by Penn State tight end Khalil Dinkins. Khalil, thanks for coming on, brother.
Appreciate it very much. So.
Congrats on the win this weekend.
Thank you.
How was that? Good game. It was fun to watch. I think all the fans had a good time watching it. I know we were just saying, and everybody on the broadcast saw. We know we love the double pass to Tyler Warren, but my man Khalil was running down the field wide open. What were you thinking? Were you like, yo, please pass it?
Yeah, so I see the safety, I seen him coming down, and as soon as I ran past him, I was like, yeah, I'm about to get the ball right here. I look back at Drew, and I see Drew looking at Tyler. I was like, but as that's just how the game goes. I started getting a block down the field, trying to help my guy out, trying to score. So yeah, still happy for my boy T1, but I do want the ball.
I don't blame you. Now, I do want to get into a couple things, and we'll go back real quick to the start because me and Khalil are actually in the same class.
Yeah,
we came in. You came in the summer though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
summer 2.
Yeah, summer 2. Okay, so you came in a little bit later, but Khalil, man, you've came into a tight end room that had Brenton Strange, Theo Johnson, Tyler Warren. I mean, just stacked. What has it been like to be able to learn from guys of that caliber?
It's just been a big learning curve just from a weight standpoint, the blocking standpoint, just knowing that you got to do everything on and off the field right, on the field right, just a lot of aspects going into tight end. So, yeah, those guys just, they helped me so much just from a mentoring aspect, and, I'm always going to be appreciative of it.
I do like with Ty Howe. So their tight ends coach is a former Penn State offensive lineman, former Penn State center.
Bun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bun.
And so
I called him.
Bunny.
Bun.
He's
from Bun, North Carolina. And I was like, dude, I gotta call you Bun. You're from Bun, North Carolina. Your name's Bun.
Ty Howe's a North Carolina dude for sure.
Great
but so having an offensive lineman as a tight ends coach, would you say from talking to like other tight, do you think you do more run blocking drills than the average tight end? And might I add, we are the best run blocking tight end group I have ever seen. So I'll preface that question, but do you think you do more drills just because Ty Howe used to play offensive line? Like, is there an emphasis for you guys on blocking?
You know what? Yeah, just from when I first got there, Brent and Theo and Tyler, they were always, talking about how we're going to be doing a whole bunch of blocking, our 2 gaps and our 2-3 blocking schemes. And, yeah, just coming into that room, Howard just, heavy on that blocking scheme. We're going to be the best blockers in the room. So he always says, you're not going to block, you're not going to get the ball. So
yeah,
that's what
you don't block. You're not going to get on the field to catch a pass. That's the bottom line,
basically.
Yeah. If a wide receiver coach tight ends, would you think they would do more pass drills? Honestly, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
But you got Ty sitting there at center, and then he's all out there playing tight end now. And
listen, he is, and our tight ends, they really are. Their blocking ability, and people won't remember, but that like double team with Amari that you guys had, and you worked up. No one knows what I'm talking about. I was watching the film, but that was pretty stuff. Yeah. No, it's cool, and you got to take pride and we had Tyler Warren on earlier this year, and we asked him you really are. It's unique. You are an offensive lineman and a wide receiver, all in one. So and I'll ask you this too. I asked Tyler, what is that like from a mindset standpoint? Like, does it change when you're going from blocking into being a receiver? Like, how do you go about that mentally?
Honestly, when I first got here, like my freshman year, I used to think of it differently. But now that I've gotten more reps and I got more used to it, I just think of it as just something I gotta do, something I gotta get done for the play. Throw my body in there, get the job done, and see what happens next play. But I'm always going to be working. I'm always going to, give it 100%. So,
100%.
I really just don't give it any thought when I go from catching the ball or blocking. So it's just like, for me, it's almost the same.
It's a very tough position.
Yeah.
And you go to the NFL, you have guys that pretty much get broken down into, he's my run catching guy. He's my run guy. He's my catching guy. You know what I mean? And then the defense will pick that right up. So if you can do both, you can play a long time. So I do want to go old school now. I'm going to your pops now. Your dad played in some damn good football teams with some damn good run games. Yeah. I know he knows how to block.
Mm-hmm. Your boy had Ray Lewis, and he told me all about that. So I was like,
I would ask your dad about Michael McCreary.
Yeah, I never asked him about that.
Dude, ask him about that cat.
Yeah,
because I was an offensive lineman. He was defensive end.
Okay,
he was in Wake Forest or whatever. He was the worst player to ever play. I never played against him, thank God. I was scared of him watching. I'm like a 27-year-old like degenerate, like blown out knees, never played football in 5 years. And I'm like, dude, that guy scares me because it's like his motor, it never stopped. And that's like the absolute worst as an offensive tackle is like a guy who's going 99.99% every play, run, pass. Because, as an offensive tackle, you can wear a guy out and they're going to take plays off. Like that guy never took a play off. And it was always like, damn. I mean, it cost him his career. I mean, he got so beat up over like a 5-6 year period. But, I mean, that was a hell of a defense. But he's blocking against them cats all day.
Yeah. I think it's from, when he was in college, he played safety and quarterback. He played quarterback in high school, actually played safety when he was at Pitt. So I think, just him being able to see the defenses and, just pick that up. I think he kind of knew the physicality aspect going in when he went to tight end in the NFL. So I think that really helped him, just become a way better blocker, manning those dudes up.
And I know I don't want to get in. This is about you, but I know I read about your dad's story. I mean, that's a guy who persevered. He wanted to play in the NFL. That's what he wanted to do. I mean, what 4 years out of college?
Yeah,
hacking around, then he finally got his shot. I mean, you gotta love a guy like that.
Yeah. What was that like growing up with obviously your dad playing ball? Is that something you always looked at and say like that's something I want to do? And then also like what kind of lessons has he just taught you along the way?
I came home late. I came home late one night. I got he techniqued me, threw me through the wall. I mean, I get it.
There was a lot of late nights and early mornings. At the facility. When he retired and everything, he had a training facility called Ethics. So me and my brother, we were always going there. Just training every day before school, during school. Like we will miss school just to go train there sometimes. So I'm like, Dad, I gotta go learn. They can't be doing this all day. So I think he almost intimate. He just made me how am I trying to say this? He gave me a better perspective of what is going to look like when I'm going to college and how the NFL works. So
what it takes to get there.
Yeah, what it takes to get there. Your academics, your body, all of it, athletics. And
it all works together. You don't go to school, you don't go to class, you're not going to play on the football field.
Yeah,
bottom line.
It is. And Khalil, you mentioned obviously your brother Colin is on the team.
Yeah,
plays safety, correct?
Yeah,
yeah, and he balls out, man. Like in the spring game. He had the pick that they called back, but he had a pick 6 on Drew Aller. Actually, they called it a sack. But Colin balls out, man. But what is that like to get to play with your brother on a football team? Not many people
against him.
Yeah.
Well, against him, yeah. Do you get to go against him a decent amount in practice?
Sometimes they put us against each other in the red zone 1-on-1s. Yeah. But then they love to see that. But it really is a blessing in disguise. Playing with my brother, it's just someone I can just go to easily, joke around with, be mad at, but still. Mess around with after practice and during the games, just like someone I need to talk to. It's just so much fun and such a blessing just to have him on the team with me.
I have my little brother on my team. I had 3 years with Puppy.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was great, man.
What was that like for you? Did you like?
Great. We have our own little conversations. I'm sure he has them like stuff that only you two would remember. Yeah, and you're sitting there talking in code, and everybody's like, "Oh, you guys talking about it? You don't worry about it. We talking movie lines, dude. That's all we do, all right?"
Well, all we gotta do is look at each other, So
you start laughing.
Yeah. Like it's funny that your dad was a safety in college, and a tight end in college, and in the pros, and then now your brother's a safety, and you're a tight end.
Yeah. It's funny how
that's how it works.
There you go. Sometimes, yeah.
Do you remember your dad playing when you were growing up? Like, do you have any memories of it?
So I barely remember the Ravens. I was just being born, but I remember the Browns. I was in the little kiddie room. I had to go play with all the kids, and I definitely remember the Saints. But it was just a whole bunch of him coming home late nights or me with in a daycare. So it was a lot of daycare.
He was in the daycare with Johnny Football. Yeah, Johnny, you're 22 years old. All right, he was in the daycare. It's all good.
Yeah.
So Khalil, obviously where we sit right now in the season, first playoffs, it's all there for Penn State. It's all out on the table. I think people hear it and they get kind of tired of it, but like, can you just talk about the 1-0 mentality that Coach Franklin preaches? And like, it really does eke in. You at first, I'll even admit it, when you're a young guy, it's like, oh, okay, like 1-0, like whatever this means, but you start to feel it, you start to live it. Can you just talk about like what that message is and what it kind of means to you, just from a day in and day out standpoint?
He mentions it so many times, it's almost like, like you don't really hear it, but like what it meant to me is just, especially like after you get that first loss or you have a bad game, it's just like, you have to have that mentality that, you got to come back. You just got to be better next game. You got to be good day in, day out, and just know that you got to work and just get stuff done. Having that 1-0 mentality, just something that, it's just a daily thing that people, I feel like, don't even realize they do, but they have it. And,
win each day, man. You can't be beat.
It does. It really is. When you stack, if you truly start to stack good days after good days in life and football, it doesn't matter. And then it turns into good games, and then you keep it going. So, no, you're absolutely right.
Said, like, football is, honestly, God, football is confidence.
Yeah.
If you don't have confidence in your abilities, you're screwed. You're done. And the whole 1-0 mentality is, think about that. That starts with, you could probably say as an offensive lineman or a corner, and that is, if you're worrying about that last play when you got beat, guess what you're going to do the next play? You're going to get beat again. Your mindset's got to be quick, get it over with. And that's the 1-0 mentality. Like, all right, we lost that game. We got a new game in 6 days. Let's go. Strap it up and go, man.
Listen, it's different.
We got to get to that point. How am I going to go 1-0 this week? I got to work each day to get to that 1-0. So, I mean, on a football field, like I said, you get beat by somebody and you're overthinking, It creeps into your mind, and then that's two, and you bang, you're back to back, and then you're like, damn, I gotta do good in this play. Then you start worrying all, and it really comes back, and it can hurt you. So you have to have that short memory in football. And I love. I'm not going to say that 1-0 mentality is a short memory, but you don't want to remember your losses, because if you're sitting on Wednesday talking about freaking Ohio State from 4 days ago, and you're playing Wisconsin in 3 days, you're going to get leveled. So, I mean, I love the mentality that he's brought in that world.
Absolutely.
Now, I don't like hiding behind a bad loss. 1-0. Like, okay, we still got to figure out what we did wrong here to how we're going to get back to 1-0, So we still got to go back on it a little bit. It just seems like the wins are just like, whatever. The losses get harped on a little bit more, don't they?
You do, but it is. You start stacking them, you feel good, and the energy in the locker room. And I think that's this past weekend, I think is really good. Continue to get on the right track, headed into the playoffs, and
total in out.
Yeah, just dominations. Get in, get out.
Step on their throat, break them, get out. Get nobody hurt. I don't think anybody got hurt. That's a good thing.
I have Steve Jones for class. He told me that you guys had to fly around for a little bit extra long. You guys had to burn off extra fuel, right?
I don't know what happened. I was sleeping during that time, and I woke up and we're talking about we took 3 laps around Penn State. I'm like, what are we doing? This was supposed to be an hour and 5-minute flight, and then it'll be in 2 hours. So the word that I got was apparently they came to pick the team up, but it was full. The jet, it was all full. So the plane weighed too much. When they got above State College, they're like, we can't land
in State College.
To land, we got to burn off more fuel.
Franklin made it up? You think he really wants that extra 500 feet of airport? Damn it, man! He's really hammering that up.
We gotta get it, man. You gotta make a headline out of it.
It was a little too cramped for me. I had to get out of there.
I know.
You know how it be,
dude. Those
I haven't been on the show before, but I mean, I've talked about it. I've been in 2 accidents. I'm not lying to you. Both coming home. Both coming home from Michigan State.
Couldn't do it.
What?
I'm not lying to you, dude.
Accidents? Yeah. What are you talking? In an airplane?
That gave me PTSD.
Like they would be considered the NTSB, National Travel Safety Board, declared both of them accidents. Well, we landed in 2005, and I'm not lying. It was Michigan State, so Thanksgiving weekend coming in. I mean, I felt like Buddy Holly. It's like one of them. The fact that you guys even know that, I love it. Thank you. This bad weather. So we're flying down in 2005, and I'm telling you, it was like this. And they're like, we don't see anything. We don't see anything. There's a run, boom, and we hit. We hit so hard that the back fuselage on the back of the plane, the tail, we went right back up. It cracked it. So that's considered a plane crash. So your boy Goon survived the plane crash.
All right, I would claim that too if I were you. Good for you, Goon. Khalil.
Unbreakable, baby. Unbreakable. What are you?
Khalil, I want to ask you one last question.
We're going flying this weekend. Good luck at Minnesota.
I'll be praying on that flight.
There's a talk. He's got some stuff for you. Right. He doesn't sleep.
That's the best. I love looking around at the beginning of the season, guys, especially that travel when they're freshmen, and guys that haven't flown before. Yeah. And I'll never forget Dom DeLuca, our freshman year, and like looking at him, and he was like shaking in like the middle seat. And it's a whole thing. Some guys do not like to fly.
It's true,
but you have to.
And I
torture
him. My old O-line coach, Bill Kenny, my senior year, he was our tight ends coach. And then became our offensive line coach, and I'd be sitting there like, "Oh, Bill, I didn't like that." I'd be behind him, and this is when I was coaching. So I'd be like, "What was that? Did you hear that, Bill? No, shut up! I don't want to hear that." You know, he's sitting there white knuckling the whole time and this and that, and I'm like, "Well, that ain't good." And I'm just kidding around the whole time, and he's like, "Oh, you son of a," you know. So the one time we did fly home, I have two different stories, not other than the plane crash. Mm-hmm. One time guys were throwing up. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, but one of you guys throw up. You're like, you're laughing at him and this and that. We were all sitting right here, so it was no one said a word because the flight was like this the whole way. Nobody said a word. We didn't break the guy's chops one bit because we were all like 1 second from going themselves.
That's a bad feeling.
So another time is we're flying and we're coming back. It may have been the same flight, but it was just all over the place. I mean, all over. And I hear my wife over there going, "Here comes the same story." Right. So we had a coach named Bob Phillips. He was old, 80 and 90 years old back in the day. Mm-hmm. And he's sitting there, and our strength coach is like, he didn't like flying either, but we're hitting and we're flying and we're all over the place. And he looked back and Coach Bob's laughing. Mm. And he goes, "Now imagine him shooting at you to try and shoot you down." He was a tail gunner in World War II. There was nothing for him. He's sitting there laughing. Everybody's screaming, crying, throwing up. God. And he's like, "Now imagine them shooting at you, trying to kill you." And we're all like, "What the hell, coach?" And he's like, "Yeah." See, and he's flying over Germany in the 40s. Like
different, I'll say different type of man, dude. It was a different type of life those guys live. Let me tell you what. Khalil, before we let you get out of here, last question for you. Andy Kotelnicki, completely new offense. The fans love to watch it. It's explosive. It's fun. What is it like for you as a player to get to be a part of?
When are you playing center?
I'm not sure yet. I'm about to ask him, but I think it's just a great learning experience. Just being under Coach K, just learning all of this stuff. He got a lot of fun stuff going in. Especially him getting the ball to the tight end. So I really like that part. And I'm not just in there blocking all the time. So I'm just excited for what we're gonna see. What y'all gonna have seen, and
we're gonna get after it. It's gonna be a good one heading into the playoffs.
I do this question to everybody 10 years from now. Where's Khalil at? After the NFL, after you retire your mom and dad to a nice house in the suburbs of Pittsburgh.
You know what? Hoping I'm gonna have my own clothing store. I definitely want to sell sweatshirts. My own shoes, my own brand, have my own logo and all that stuff. So yes, maybe somewhere down the line, make my own YouTube. Anything.
There you go. What I'm saying? Love a little influencer too. Khalil Dinkins, man. Appreciate it. Good luck this weekend against Minnesota.
Over here, you guys. You got I'll model it for you.
Yeah, we'll talk after.
You got like a 4 or 5X tall.
I was gonna say you're gonna get a lot of extra material for Goon. Hey, we appreciate it. Thank you so much, Khalil.
The tent maker.
We will be right back with the Modelo Blue White Players Show.
WFXS, once again, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox State College.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
You tuned in to the Modelo Blue and White Players Show with Keith Goon Conlon, Aeneas Hawkins, and Landon Tengwall. Broadcasting live from the 19th hole at the Penn State Golf Courses every Monday at 6 p.m. all season long. Special thanks to this season's sponsors of the Players Show: Modelo Especial Beer, Lusk & Associates, Sotheby's International Realty, Turner Construction, Austin and Pam Schanfelter, Chris and Lisa Heydrich, Marco Rivera, and Sherry Lane. Now back to more of the Modelo Blue and White Players Show.
Back into the Modelo Blue White Players Show here at the Penn State Golf Course.
Jumping on Hawk, man.
Oh, Hawk.
No,
you want to
no.
bring us in? I'm
No,
sorry.
you
CTE jumping in already.
No. It's kicking
We
in
normally
early.
go back and forth. A bit of a tag team.
Yeah,
between
that's
us.
all it is.
What happened when you're my age?
I don't know. I wonder that often. I look and I go, is that going to be me?
Fine, dude.
Is that going to be me in 25 years?
Are you going to let your young guy talk to you like that?
Wow.
That's incredible.
I invite the guy to my house for
See,
fiddles, and this is what I get.
This is how they do it.
See, the funny part is it's already me.
Wow. Yeah. I think it's there.
We already do the same shows together, and then we just watch NFL Red Zone together. Goon, we're already there. Look, it wasn't even meant to be offensive necessarily. Like, we're already there. I already lived Goon's life. Like when I came into Champs, was Hawk there when the first year I did Champs in 22? Was Hawk doing a show with?
Yeah, that was my first year.
That was your first year, yeah.
Yep.
And I remember looking.
He was the young up and comer.
That's
I
right.
was the young guy.
Now it's me.
That's you.
Wow,
now.
look. I mean, we're just
Yeah,
we're all just trading places.
Yeah, that's all.
We
it
went
is.
old school, new school, and then we had Trey on last week without you guys.
Oh yeah, how was that? Was that a good time? Nick Dawkins.
He went four olds. He went old school.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Trey Bauer's
He was
old.
talking about like playing without helmet. No, I'm just kidding.
So
No, he
wait.
was great though. He filled in for you guys.
Oh
So
yeah,
that was
no.
fun.
Shout out Trey, appreciate it. You said you had a non-Penn State.
Yeah, I just wanted
football.
to ask Goon because I mean this is completely unrelated to the topic at hand, but I made the mistake of watching this fight. But I know you come from the generation of Mike Tyson.
Oh no, don't do it.
I want to know what your thoughts are all the way around.
I saw exactly what I needed to see about that fight when he was being interviewed in his locker room. And when he turned around, I said, "This is it." And I looked at it on television, and Rosie Perez is on the dais, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh man, this is so bad. This is so bad.
This is bad,
dude."
yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I was 12 years old in 1985, watching that man win the heavyweight national title while my brother was an All-American here in '86. So I'm watching I used to stay at his apartment for the football weekends. Imagine that.
Yeah.
My parents allowed a 12-year-old kid to stay in my brother's
It's a
apartment.
bold
So this is what they did. The bold strategy it paid off for me.
Paid off.
Yeah, the bold strategy was that I'd be up there Friday night, and then it's so funny. I'll tell you this. So the Domino's thing was just starting.
Okay.
So the half hour or free, and I'm telling you, I'm hanging out the window.
Right here.
All I could wait to do was order a Domino's pizza when I got to Penn State, right? 29 minutes and like 34 seconds every time. And I'd be so mad. I'd be like, damn it, here's your $4 or $5 or whatever. But then I would sit there on Friday night and then hang out with my brother's roommate, Mikey Wolf, who was injured. And then Saturday, my parents would come get me. We'd go to a game, and then they'd bring me back to after tailgating all day. And then I would come back and stay at my brother's apartment, and the whole team was there.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember sitting there watching Mike Tyson win the heavyweight national, his first heavyweight title at like 20.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting next to Shane Conlon, Trey Bauer, my brother, Tim Manoa, all these like dudes. I'm like, dude, I'm like the coolest like 12-year-old in the history of the freaking world. I'm sitting there watching these games with these guys, watching Mike Tyson. It's like it was like around my birthday. So they were like, oh, happy birthday, this and that. So they're slipping me beers and stuff like that. So that was what they used to do. They get me passed out. They would get me passed out as a 12-year-old, and then they'd go out. And I'd wake up the next day, and I'm like, that was a fun night, man. They're like, oh, yeah, it was great. You were fun. That was out by 10 o'clock. No, but I remember watching all the Tyson fights, and then, Friday night hurt.
Yeah.
Friday night really, really hurt. Because it just looks so manufactured and fake.
It did. And Landon, do you have something to say before I chime in here? Did you watch the fight?
I did. And I said it before, and I said this is going to be a WWE fight, and it was. And did your Netflix buffer?
Yeah, the entire time.
Half of it seems like about half of the population with Netflix streaming the Tyson Jake Paul. Both of them are equally horrible. Sorry, shout out the Paul brothers, but it was buffering for at least like half of the audience, and not that many people cared because, like I said, it was basically a glorified WWE match. And now, where I'm concerned with Netflix, they are carrying the Christmas football slate. We got Steelers, Chiefs, then we got Ravens. Somebody, it's a good slate as a whole, and Netflix is carrying it. If the game is buffering on Christmas, I mean, there's going to be some angry, drunk people around America. The Yinzers for sure.
Where's the game at? We got Maricopa on there. What's going on there? So I found out yesterday.
What'd you find out?
Sarah tells me that when he was growing up, he was such a Steelers fan, he used to cry when they lost.
I did.
I was begging for them to lose.
That's great information, by the way.
I was begging for them to lose yesterday.
You think if we lost, I would have been close. I would have been close to crying, right?
Oh my!
Yeah. If we would have lost,
listen, I cried. I cried in college. I'm not lying. When Joe Carter went yard on the Phillies in '93, I was vested in that team, man. I love that Phillies team. And then Joe Carter goes yard, and I'm not lying to you. I had a party at my house. There's probably 50 people in the apartment. I had every one of them out of that apartment before that ball landed, and that ball landed quick. Get out! Get out! And all the guys, it's typical anti-Philadelphia, because I'm a Philly fan. They're all busting my chops and stuff like that, and they just sat there. Let's go. Joe Carter does that, and everyone's like, oh God. He might kill somebody. I was very upset. So
that's understandable.
I have multiple questions for you. Number one, Nittany Apartments. You guys were able to get parties off in there. Not anymore.
What?
You guys used to get parties off? No.
What do you do?
Have you never had an Nittany apartment party?
By the time I got here, those were getting shut down.
Let me tell you this. Okay. I can say this because I'm far enough removed.
Goon has entered the transfer portal.
Yeah, he's heard it.
Goon is in the transfer portal. It's Friday night, 11:30.
In 2018, my first week on campus in the summertime.
Really?
I'll say their names. I don't care. Micah Parsons and Jesse Lucchetta fit like 285 people in an India. I'm talking about you couldn't breathe. It was so hot. You walked in, you're immediately the floor is shaking. And that ended up getting we were partying for a good while before the police came. And even when they came, they were just like, hey, come on, guys. I think it's because Micah Parsons was there. They didn't really care that much. But yeah, the Nittany apartment parties. I mean, DJ Robbie Dwyer. You didn't experience any of that?
No. Wow. No, I got DJ Robbie Dwyer out at the retreat, but not
Nittany apartment version.
No, we would go out.
Take your $9 million paychecks and go out and buy houses now. I got you.
Listen, I get it. It was a little different. Goon, I have one other question. I sat there.
3 players living on the golf course houses over here.
Don't start
going over to the party. He rented out this far. Yeah,
Goon's gonna kill every NIL donation now.
You know what we got to do before it's too late? We got to get Goon in a Champs downtown, post game, get him up on stage, get him loose, man. Bring the whole family,
with DJ Richter up there.
It'll be a great time. You grab the mic. I think that's what we need.
Probably shirtless on the stage.
What?
Yeah.
No one wants that.
If we win a playoff game.
Everybody, including my wife, would run away.
No, I think Carrie would like that, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
Not.
Goon, okay. So I was sitting there. I found myself this past Saturday morning. Purdue's coming on board. There's nothing to do. And I stumbled across a 43-minute video on YouTube, the entire Penn State, Illinois 1994 game. where we were down 21, came all the way back with the drive. Two
Pepsi and Hoagies.
Yes, 2 96-yard drives, I believe, actually in that game by the offense.
Yeah.
Did they have was it just play, or was it in between talk?
No, it was just play. It was cut up. No commercials, like 46 minutes.
So they called 3 defensive timeouts in that fourth quarter because they were gassed. And we were sitting there in our huddle laughing at them. That was what we were doing.
Yeah.
Because they're literally like the 3D, they ran a 34 front, so they had 3D linemen who were on their knees in the huddle. And we're just like, come on, dude. It's not that bad.
Have some self-respect.
It's a bad feeling, man.
Yeah, exactly. So we murdered them. So good.
Yeah. So, no, a couple of things I want to ask. First off, Joe Jaravicius, who we know as a star Penn State wide receiver, went on to do some great stuff in the NFL.
He's a redshirt freshman.
He was a redshirt freshman punter. And you're telling – okay, so what happened? Because I'm watching this, and I just hear Joe – and mind you, I haven't watched anything else from the 94 season. And I just see, Joe Jaravicius is punter. And I'm like, what? And then he punts the ball like 40. No offense, Joe. I know it wasn't your first position. But I'm like, this is you're putting the defense in not so great situations right now. Why could we not find a better punter? Did our punter get hurt? What was the situation?
No. He was was he the deep punter or like the angle punter?
You guys are punting from pretty much your own goal line, and he only put it out to the 40-yard line, and it was like, no.
Jeremy Capanos is not Capanos. Oh man, here comes that CT.
Yeah, it's been kicking in all day long.
Woo, baby,
playing heavy today, Goon.
The kid kicked 20 times the whole season. That's a stat you need to find.
Interesting.
How many times we punted in 1994? It's under like 30 or 40.
I've not gone back and watched you guys playing. That's what I need. That's a good idea. So I keep hearing about how effective.
He keeps on talking now. I want to hear what he has to say. He's calling me and saying, "Hey, look at this kid. There's a play where I got knocked off by somebody, and I was jumping over a pile."
He thinks I was, making fun of because he pulled and he kind of got knocked off his pull. It wasn't his fault. It was one of his other linemen kind of got messed up a little bit. But then there was a pile, and Goon was running full speed, and he just leaps over the pile and falls. And I was like, wow, I'm sitting there in bed like Saturday morning, just laughing at my phone. Then I came up with the idea. I'm like, I'm going to sit down with Goon, and we're going to grade him out from Illinois.
I love
Wouldn't that be
idea.
hilarious?
Put a camera right in front of you guys and
just berate him, just like a Sunday morning with your coaches.
Yeah.
Just
would you be open to that?
Oh, we're going both ways on this thing.
We're
going both ways.
I like that.
I'm actually, that's coming soon. Goon might be the first one.
That's a
reviewing film with Letterman
incoming. You mentioned being tired on defense. I know neither one of you guys know what that's like. You've not experienced that before. But I will tell you this quick story. So you mentioned tough out of conference games. We had FCS. They made a deep run in the FCS postseason. Idaho came in here in 2019, and they had not shown any signs of being a fast-paced offense at all. We get up 72-0. They decide, hey, let's put in these young guys. Let them go out there. And they told us, they were like, hey, we're going to let you play today. But the moment if they score a point, if they convert more than 2 first downs even, we're going to take you back out of this game. They were that bad. We get out there. Idaho drills off like 6 tempo plays in a row, and they gain like 50 yards. Like they start dicing our group up. This is actually the game where Brandon Smith had that massive hit on the sideline.
Yeah, and CJ Thorpe dropped down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I remember.
They went down the field in 14 plays. It was like 97 yards and scored on us. And that was the last time I played in a Penn State game for 2.5 years. They did not pick it up. It was a bad deal. It was a bad 14-play drive.
Did you get in 2018 at all? Like any pity time? Like
2018.
I think I remember a Michigan State story somewhere in there.
I did jump in against Michigan State. That's because Antonio Shelton got hurt.
Please don't tell me this is the game they got the offensive tackle score.
It wasn't it? 2018?
No, that might have been 2017. Was it 2018?
It was
2018.
It was 2018.
It was 2018.
I remember watching that.
PE is bad, boys.
So I went in for 2 plays against Michigan State.
Completely off track.
We're way off track. Antonio Valentino gets hurt. Fred Hansard, that game starts. He gets hurt.
Oh, no.
PJ Mustipher's helmet pops off. So we're on like D tackle 4. I don't have tape on. I don't have my helmet in my hands. I'm like not even close to ready to play. I've not won a competitive rep in a practice up to this point. This is my freshman year. Coach Spence turns around and looks at me. Franklin's like, he looks at Spence. He puts his hands up. Spence looks around. He looks at me and Judge Culpepper. Judge was even worse than I was at that point. And they said, Hawk, go out there. I thought it was a movie. I thought it was a Rocky movie. This was my moment where I was going to establish myself in Penn State football history. The first play. See, don't even get me started on Rudy because that's another conversation. If you remember Illinois my last year. I get double reached on the first play, gain of 17. Very next play, I get two-hand choked by the right guard and slammed on my back. And yeah, it was just a bad deal, man. It was just a bad deal.
It's never. Hawk. Not great memories.
It never really went all that great. Illinois, you mentioned Rudy. I didn't play for about 2 years after that. I'm like hurt, battling injury, whatever. We get up on Illinois, and they're like, "Yo, Hawk, it's your time. Like, I know this is your last year." They put me in there. Now, when they say my name, the way the sideline responded to me going in the football game, I might as well have been Rudy. And in that moment, I remember being excited to go in the game, but I just remembered, like, in high school, I had like 30 or 40 scholarship offers. I was a legitimate athlete at one point. And then to that full circle moment where even the trainers are erupting in joy that I'm getting to play,
I'm so happy for
was
you.
like,
so happy
I'm like, all right, man, this is it. That was it for me. I made a tackle and got up and intentionally did not celebrate because I'm hoping it's going to be chill. I get up in the sideline. I might as well have scored a 90-yard touchdown. The way that it was incredible. So.
Oh, was that the game Tank Smith was so
Tank
right?
Smith.
Yeah,
I'm not breaking your film down then.
No, there's probably 22 total plays. That's an exact number.
22.
Yeah,
I counted before I got here.
Wait,
I do, not to get off my track, I have to circle back for one more moment from watching the film from Illinois. I was dumbfounded at the idea my 2002 baby brain.
Both right and left tackle.
Well, no, okay, sorry. Yes, that's insane. But my 2002 brain can't comprehend not having the play clock and the score up there the entire time. You guys.
It was. It's just not on YouTube.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it was ABC.
When did that start?
Man, right, they had the score up there, right, Chrissy?
I don't know.
Nah, it's a YouTube, so they're not going to pay ABC.
I don't know if I believe me.
I don't know, but at some point there was
they had the guy on the sideline like.
Dude, that's ridiculous. Because apparently when they added it, it was like controversial. Like people were like, "Oh, I don't like seeing like the clock." Maybe they added it earlier than that. Maybe it was the 80s.
Yeah.
But like they added the score and the clock. They're like, "Oh, it's distracting." And I can't even fathom not watching a game and like 6 minutes go by, and you don't know how much time it's like. What is it? Is this Pee Wee? Like what
Fox
are we doing?
ruined that.
Fox ruined it.
How so?
Fox. But they picked up hockey back in the 90s, and they started putting like anytime the puck went over like 40 miles an hour, they had a big glare behind it. So you're like, what the hell is going on? And it's like there's everything on the screen. It's a big white screen. There's all kinds of robots going around and crap like that. So Fox did all that stuff, but it was. I would think that it was on there.
Interesting.
Time wise,
maybe
play
not.
Clock. Not unless it was really needed, I guess. We'll watch the games you won.
Yeah, no. We're seriously going to do it.
Remember, there was four linebackers all went and played in the NFL. They were studs, dude.
I believe it.
Kevin Hardy was 1. Well, Simeon Rice was 1, and Hardy was 3 in the draft.
That's insane.
Pretty damn good, though.
That is
we're reviewing a little goon film. We'll make sure it's highlights. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You had a couple good plays. I was watching.
What was your strength as a player, Goon? Like, if I cut your film on right now, what's going to jump off the table?
An intervention over here.
I'm curious now because we're on the topic. We never get into the quality of player that you are.
I was actually, to be honest, I was good in space.
Okay.
For being
you were an athlete.
For being 6'7", 320 or whatever. So 5, 10 pounds, whatever hell he had me at. But that was definitely Key John. I probably had 7 or 8 touchdowns on 94 just on one play on like a counter play we saw. And the whole point of playing right and left is that you can run right or left.
Right.
You can figure out where they're playing, what side of the ball, where the sidelines are, and hash marks and stuff like that. So you double your offense pretty much. Now, the fact that I'm playing right tackle or left tackle with a right hand down, I'm already at disadvantage right there. So,
I mean, being able to play both in game. I mean, there's some people that can switch back and forth, and it's never the same. You're better at one side or the other.
But you play by play.
Yeah, you had to switch play by play. Goon was going left tackle, right tackle. I mean, you said like strong. Was it like strong and weak side? Like what'd they call it? Like
it was I right, and then I was always next. I mean, I was the luckiest man in America. I played next to Kyle Brady and Jeff Hardings.
That's gonna make it easier.
Every
easy job.
That's gonna make it a lot easier.
You don't have to do much.
Just chase blocks down. Like, can I get a piece of him, please? Could I hit him? Any chance I can get a piece of this guy?
Gentlemen, we got about 2 minutes left. Let's talk Penn State playoffs, where we are at right now.
Does this scare you? Because the Minnesota game scares the hell out of me.
It scares me.
From a couple years ago.
I think
if we play well out there. I have not looked at the weather.
It's going to be cold. It's going to be like 32 out there.
In Minnesota?
Yep. Yep.
Really?
Yep. It's a shocking surprise to all of us. Global warming hasn't hit Minnesota yet, or so. Yeah,
all the
yeah,
fires
it's gonna be
started though. It'll be warmer out.
Yeah, you got the heat. Because I know, did you guys see that this weekend? The Tennessee game, the Tennessee Georgia game.
Yeah, you
where
texted me that. I was like, oh, boy,
it was 55. It was 55 degrees outside at the where they at Georgia. It was at Georgia. It was 55, and they go on. The sideline reporter starts talking about, hey, the Tennessee wide receivers, the heating on their bench went out. People are like, heating on the bench. It's 55 degrees out.
Complaining about not having heaters on the sideline.
So
55.
Saying that to say, I hope we see some of those SEC teams up here. Bring them up here because you know what? December 21st in Beaver Stadium, it's going to be a whiteout, but it could be snow on the ground.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get a little
snow this week.
It's going to snow this week. That's what I thought.
I want to send a picture out to every person I know from the South and say, come on up, boys.
Come on.
Did you two enjoy playing in the cold? Were you guys cold guys?
Oh,
you're a PA kid.
Fat kid. Of course I did.
I hated playing
I didn't
cold.
like it.
Come on.
Do you remember the Michigan State game 21
to
end the year when it was like 6 inches of snow on the ground? You can't feel your hands.
The bitterly
your
cold.
feet.
The bitterly cold's bad. That's like
not
they
good.
hit you like.
Yeah.
I can just remember several times at Penn State football practice where Franklin would split up the offense and defense during the practice, and the offense always went outside. So on the scout team defense, I would always have to go outside. And I remember one day it's like probably 20 degrees. It's snowing, and I was out there in sweatpants, team issued sweatpants that I was watching Micah Parsons actively wear at the same time. And Franklin came over to me
you up.
and rips me a new one for wearing sweatpants and said it wasn't that cold. I needed to be tougher and made me take them off. Again, Micah Parsons did not have to take those sweats off.
So I have one story. I think we go to Minnesota this week. We take care of business. I think that James has learned from his mistakes in the past. The coaching staff has about going out, and I think the team understands they're so well led by these guys. They're not going to let this happen. They're not going to let this slip away. Like you told me 3 years ago about that Rose Bowl team. You're like, Goon, we're going to the Rose Bowl. And I said, bro, there's no way in hell. And you're like, we're going to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
And you did.
Well, and you know what? I think you bring up a good point. Maybe Franklin has learned, and maybe it won't be the same way it was in 2019. And I'm sure some of those things are true. But at the end of the day, I have a hard time looking at this roster as a guy who was on the 2019 team. And I have a hard time saying that this team isn't better, just straight up. And let's call it what it is. The way Abdul Carter is coming off the edge right now is incredible. Their secondary is playing very well. Jalen Reed has quietly had the type of season that's going to put him in the position to go top 50 in the NFL draft. I look at this team completely up and down, top to bottom, and I just don't see a reality where Minnesota finds a way to win the game. It would take something so uncharacteristic out of Drew Aller or the running backs letting go of the football when they're not supposed to. God forbid. I just don't see that out of this team. This is a better team, top to bottom, and I think they're going to go out there and execute.
So my last game at Penn State was the Snow Bowl versus Michigan. 23 inches of snow on the ground Tuesday or Wednesday before the game. I think I was telling you about it a couple weeks ago. Like they had the prison inmates from Rockview coming in and shoveling the stadium out.
Wow.
And Michigan, Lloyd Carr calls Joe. He's like, hey, Joe, if you want to have the game at Michigan Stadium, just let us know. And Joe's like, like why the hell do we want to do that? So I don't know if anybody about. I mean, Sally, you were there. I mean, absolutely amazing, man. It was
He saw the prisoners
everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, they paid students $5 an hour, and then they were going in and they were shoveling the stuff out. But it was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Because you walked into the stadium before when there's no one there as a player, and you're looking up there and you're like, why does that section not have 1 ounce of liquid? And that was where the prisoners were.
That's where they were.
I mean, the students were like, whatever. There was not a piece of ice in that whole section that the prisoners did. It was unbelievable. So I have another cold story for you. I know we got to go. I played in Canada.
Okay.
And the first day I got to Saskatchewan was like November. It was like late in the season. And they're like, hey, big boy, we're going out to practice today. You better put some more clothes on. I'm like, dude, come on, man. I'm from Pennsylvania. Hey, we're offensive linemen, right? So I'm like, I got no shirt on, no glove. I got my football gloves on, helmet, shoulder pads, pants. And by the end of the practice, like people were like literally giving me mittens and scarves because I could not tell you how freaking cold it was out there. I'm sitting there like I got a mitten on and a scarf wrapped around this hand.
That's funny.
Freezing.
That's good.
Could not believe it.
Canada's a different type of cold, but we are about out of time. Me and Goon, upcoming. We are doing kind of a taste of the town. If you remember, Todd Blackledge used to go around.
I don't know who Todd Blackledge is. We don't talk about that. Now we're not stealing his idea.
No. We're not stealing his idea at all. It's been done very many times. But me and Goon are going to go around 2 former Penn State offensive linemen trying out different grub around the Center County area. So that is coming pretty much postseason. It's going to be good.
The old bull is going to teach the young calf how to get like this, Aeneas.
I'm going to learn.
You can be like this, Landon. This could be you.
How do I get there?
You could be.
I'll just hang. All right, we'll hang out. We'll get there.
You guys just keep going to taste the town.
Sarah just left out of the back door. She's out of here.
She's leaving.
I'm out.
Appreciate you guys tuning in.
I will not be here. We got Thanksgiving next week.
Yes.
You guys, Young Buck Show.
Me and Hawk will be here next week to take you guys through the Modelo Blue White Player Show. It's going to be a good one, but we will talk to you guys next week. Thank you for tuning in.
We are.